Last summer I was working this internship that I loved. I had a lot of fun at this internship. It grew me a lot. It really gave me a lot of discipline in the workplace. But it wasn't the best paying. It was an internship. I got paid like $100 a week. So I had to take this other job at this restaurant. A friend of my family's situation who owned the restaurant is very small. I'm not going to name the restaurant or any of the people in the story, for privacy reasons, of course. But anyway, first day in the job, right? It's going pretty well. I get to meet, the boss. He was super cool, always such a chill guy, loves the community. And then I met my coworkers. So we had the head chef, who was redneck as redneck could be. We had the co-chef. Those two always made all the food. I mean, like they were put on a lot of pressure, and it was funny, hearing them kind of get angry, yell at each other, profanity, all that stuff, and a lot of the coworkers too. It was a weird family, and honestly, the one thing I remember most about it is all the freaking yelling that would happen. You would have someone in the back, and you would just hear someone up front go, "Hey, where's the bleeping chicken?" Like, so much yelling, so much profanity. It was really a lot. And it got to the point where some people actually got angry at each other. And the rule was that you can get angry and scream as much as you want as long as two things happen. One, the customers couldn't hear it, so a lot of times the door between the kitchen and the rest of the restaurant had to be closed, and you couldn't actually physically assault on each other, but you could yell at each other all you want. And so it led to like a lot of funny moments, but sometimes things got really heated, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So my responsibility at the restaurant I want to talk about, I was basically the barman and not serving alcohol. I wasn't doing any of that stuff. Sadly, I think it would have been a lot of fun to do that. But the buffet, basically, I was the person who would prep the buffet, put the food out there, make it look nice, clean it, talk to the customers. I was basically the person who smiled and waved. Basically, I didn't have that much to do, and it was a really easy job. Sometimes it got stressful if we got really overwhelmed. A lot of food would go fast, and certain nights, especially, were really rough. Fridays, we always had ribs, and man, people show up for ribs. Like, no joke, did they show up for ribs. But anyway, the second day comes around after me experiencing the yelling, and I even sent my friend on the first night of two people yelling at each other a Snapchat video of it because I was like, dude, this is where I'm working for the rest of the summer. It was rough. Second day comes around, it's normal stuff. I'm still being trained because, of course, I've never worked like a situation like this. I mean, I worked at restaurants before, like McDonald's, Buffalo Wild Wings, Pizza Hut, and I've had other jobs. But man, this one took it took the running for craziness. I was in the back, and one of the waitresses come up, and she was not well liked. She had some issues, mostly for the fact that she cheated on her husband, and that caused a lot of people not to like her. But she came up and just talked to the head chef, and just gave him crap. And he was not taking. He yelled right back at her. She left, and eventually the boss came in. The boss was like, "What the crap's happening?" And he immediately just raised his voice to 10. Like it was immediate. And he goes, "She came back here and tried telling me what to do for my job. Like, no one else could do that." And my boss is just like, "Yo, chill. What the heck?" And then the head chef goes, "I'm leaving." And he leaves. Kid you not, walks out the door. And my boss goes, "Well, all right." And I'm sitting there, like, doing the math. And I'm like, well, we just lost our head chef. Like, we're kind of screwed. And then another coworker goes, "You know what? I'm leaving too." And he leaves. And I'm like, oh, okay. My head boss, he's chill as ever. He's like, "All right, whatever." And he leaves. And I'm like, what are we gonna do? We just lost two of our employees. Like, we don't have anyone else. This is it for the day. And eventually, the head chef does walk back in, and he's just grunting. And eventually, my boss walks back and goes, "Oh, good for you, join us." And then, before the head chef gets his voice up and yell, my boss just goes, "In the back, now." And they walk back there, and a screaming match, like I've never heard between two workers, just start. There was swearing, there was insults. My boss was like, "You can't just keep getting like mad at this. This is why people don't like you." And then the head chef was like, "Maybe if you're a better boss, maybe our waitresses would actually be able to do their job." Like, back and forth, it was going on. Keep in mind, they're in the place where I have to go prep the food. I have to go back there to make sure things are good so I can bring them out to the buffet. And there's just this yelling match. They got to the point where we had to close the door. It was going on for like 30 minutes of just constant yelling, and eventually people were like, "Yo, you just gotta go back there." So I started walking back there. I just see them yelling at each other, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. They're literally standing in front of the chicken that I need to bring out to the buffet. And my boss eventually realized and he goes, it was really funny. He went from angry red face to, "Oh, hey, here you go take it out there," back to, I'm so tired of you acting this way. I was like, oh gosh. So eventually, kid you not, I was thinking like there's gonna be either a fist fight, someone was gonna shoot each other. And if you ever seen the Full House, you know how every episode ends with like the sweet talk to violence. I kid you not, that's kind of what happened. Eventually, the boss, I think he eventually got to the back. He goes, "Listen, it's okay to be angry, but you can't keep bringing your anger out on other people." And the head chef's just like, yeah, I just, I get angry and stuff like this. And it literally comes down to a really heart to heart moment. And it was very weird, like, after just getting yelled at for 30 minutes. I mean, I've seen people get fired for less than this, and it was just crazy. But eventually, the argument ended, and my boss and the head chef kind of got along a little bit better. The waitress and the head chef, absolutely not. They still hated each other, and I have some more stories about that at a future point. But yeah, that was literally my second day working there. I just had to experience all that and be a background guest. It was very concerning, but I made it out and I had a lot of fun that summer. But I have some more stories of that summer and other stories I plan to share, but this is just kind of a small little piece of that. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you want, please leave a subscribe and turn on notifications and leave a like. It helps out the algorithm. In any case, also let me know if you have any crazy stories in the comments. I would love to read it. Anyway, I'll be peacing out. See you guys.